been told that VA buyers are the worst buyers out there? Think again. We're going to dive into it. So watch this video. Cristina Ingram here with Keller Williams Realty Las Vegas, and here with Dustin DeHart again, and we're going to talk about people's misconceptions of VA loans and VA buyers. Really touchy subject for me. I am an Air Force brat, so I really take it personal when people, bring up these misconceptions on a VA buyer and that they maybe don't have enough skin in the game because it's no money down loan. But the number one thing that bothers me a lot is people think that they're not qualified because they're not putting money down. So other agents, other sellers, because these agents have told these sellers that these particular buyers can't buy, they're usually the most qualified buyers that I have. I can tell you from growing up with someone who was in the military for 27 years, we were very strict and disciplined, and he lived his whole life that way, with as much as saving his money and his credit and the way he pays his bills. So the majority of the people that I deal with that are using a VA loan generally have the best credit and money saved. They just earned not to have to put money down and get a better interest rate and not have MI. So that misconception of they don't have any money is bullshit. So I just want you guys to know that right now. So that's my number one pet peeve. What are your pet peeves with VA loan misconceptions?
Well, I'm really glad that you brought this up today and we're talking about it, because it's been a pet peeve of mine since I started in the business back in 06, 07. First of all, we would see unscrupulous loan officers putting veterans in subprime loans. Oh. Because A, they made more money on them than going VA, or they didn't even know how to go VA, right? And it was ridiculous. Then we saw, after that, all the foreclosures and short sales, right? And we'd see those agents go, oh, no VA or FHA, right? Just because literally they thought, oh, if it's conventional, you must be way more qualified, and I don't want to deal with it, right?
Well, the value is different somehow.
We still get that, and I don't understand that, right? So if I blindfold an appraiser today and I go appraise this house, and I don't tell you what loan product it is, right? Are they going to have a different value because it's VA versus conventional? No, they're not. Now, there could be some small repairs that are required on a VA loan, not a conventional loan.
Right.
But they're very minimal, and it's going to be an older house that's in disarray. Correct. So maybe 1 out of 100 would fall into that. And I'll tell you, I've had more luck with VA appraisals than I've had conventional. And I am not, as you say, bullshitting either. Right. It's really the truth. And on top of that, with VA, they even give you a heads up, right? When it's coming in low, it's called the initiative Tidewater, right? So they let the LO know. We then go to the agents and go, hey, the appraiser said, bruh, I don't see the comps here. Right. And then we can literally provide more comps to bring up the value. So that's really the big misconceptions that I see, and it's weird that
I do like the way they do that versus a conventional loan anyways, because a conventional loan, if the value's not coming in,
you're not going to know until
it comes in, and then you have to challenge it. You have to initiate the challenge or just go with it. Right. Versus VA, they tell you, hey, value's not going to come in before I give you this. Give me how you guys figured out or came up with this value and this price. So you actually have to give them data before they're going to change it. And you have a better chance with a VA loan changing if it gets issued Tidewater versus if not.
And much quicker, right? Because then you're not waiting for the appraisal to come in, then gathering up the comps, then that appraiser could take 4 to 5 days.
And the appraiser's not getting butthurt
right.
because you're challenging their appraisal. Exactly. They already told you, hey, if you're going to challenge it now, because I want to see how you priced. And it's more on the listing agent at that point too, because if they didn't price the property correctly or just wanted to see if they could get way over,
It's coming in low.
It's gonna come in at the lower amount.
Sure.
So they've got to have actual data on why they priced it the way they priced it.
Yeah, so the other misconception that you talked about is they're more qualified if they go conventional.
Correct.
So let me tell you something. I can get a VA loan done with a 620 credit score with a really high debt to income ratio all day long, better than a jumbo loan putting 30% down with an 800 credit score, right? With the doctor that's got tax returns like
Correct.
this that has to go through the ringer, you know what I mean? It's a complete misconception. If you're qualified, you're qualified, right? And God bless the veterans. They deserve this loan. It's the best loan product out there. And who are we to say that, oh, you shouldn't get, we're not going to sell you this house because it's going to be easier for a conventional, borrower. So it's all crap, right? So some other ones that I see are the veterans can't pay closing costs. And let's just talk about that really quick, because they can. Now, there used to be a time where a veteran could only pay certain closing costs, right? Now, they still can. So really quickly, they can pay all discount points, meaning if they want to buy the rate down, okay? All prepaids, which are taxes and insurance, right? And anything outside of that, which would be lender fees, normal lender fees, title and escrow fees, they can only pay up to 1% of that, right? So think about it. So it's only when you have really small loan amounts where that becomes a problem, right? So if it's a 150 loan amount and the lender's charging $1,500, well, you already got your 1%, right? Now, good lenders like us will issue a lender credit to cure that, but so typically there's never a problem with veterans paying closing costs, even the termite inspection. Okay.
Really? They
can even pay that
oh,
nowadays,
wow.
and appraisals. But this is another thing that I don't like is the transaction fee, right? We, Keller Mortgage, will not allow transaction fees to be, set forth to the veteran.
Right.
And I've seen, real estate agents argue with this, and one of them was a veteran, and you literally wanted to charge $1,000 to a VA. So you can't charge a transaction fee. You got to eat it, right? So loan limits, that's another one, right? So there used to be, up until 2019, if you go above the conforming loan limit, the veteran would have to bring a little bit of money in.
Right. And it would be a veteran jumbo, right?
Yeah, we'd have to do the calculation. It wasn't like 20% down, but there was some amount of money that they would have to put forth to get the financing done. Now, after 2019, it was a Blue Water Tide Act, if I'm saying that right. A veteran can literally go to a $3 million house if they qualify and put zero money down. Right,
wow.
So that's amazing.
That is amazing. So you hear that, people with $1 million houses that don't want to offer or accept VA mortgages, you might want to double think that, because these officers that retire, that have been in their lifetime, when they're colonel, lieutenant colonel, general, they have a very, very nice retirement. And they usually get great consulting jobs too because of their status in the military.
Absolutely. So, last large one I did was like a $2 million house in the Ridges. Almost the exact scenario that you just said. It's crazy. So the other, not misconception, but something that everybody should be aware of, you can actually have more than one VA loan at a time.
Really? See, I didn't know this, so this is good for me.
Good, yeah. So, and it's called bonus entitlement, right?
Okay.
Now, you can't just flat out go, oh, I'm just going to get a whole other VA loan. There are calculations that need to be done. And what we'll see typically, Cristina, is, buyers, let's say in another state like Washington, right? And they're coming to Vegas, and they don't want to sell that house in Washington, but they want to use VA for another house in Las Vegas. We just have to get some paperwork, certificate of eligibility, some of the notes, information, and then we can figure out what their max loan amount will be. So again, VA buyers can actually have more than one VA loan at a time. And the reasoning is, as you were Air Force brat, right? I bet you moved, every year?
No, we actually, my dad he was already in the military 12, 13 years by the time he had me. Right. So we moved a couple times. Like, I was born in Florida, then we moved to the Philippines, then we moved here. And my dad actually turned down promotions because he didn't want to move his family anymore. Because after him and my mom and my older sister moved tons and tons of times, he was like, enough. After he had myself and my brother. So he turned down promotions, but he stayed in 27 years.
Wow. But a lot of times you see, especially
Oh,
buyers,
yeah.
they get transferred all the time, right? So
Lost lots of friends.
Right. So that's the reasoning why, right? We're not, and that's more for, active duty.
Mm-hmm.
But, again, VA's VA, whether you're a veteran or active duty. So look, there are some misconceptions out there, right? At the end of the day, if it's a veteran that's qualified for a VA loan, they should be able to get just as good a deal as anybody else, right? In fact, I think they should get a better deal.
Exactly.
Right?
So those are our pet peeves about misconceptions about VA loans. So if you're an agent or a seller out there and you don't want to consider a VA loan, please watch this video and then reconsider. Otherwise, we're coming for you. Again, this is Cristina with Keller Williams Realty Las Vegas. And signing off, looking to be your real estate agent expert of choice in the Las Vegas area. So if you're looking to sell or buy, either in Summerlin, Henderson, Lake Las Vegas, and all the places in between, give me a call. And if you like our videos, please hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you can be notified anytime we have those videos. Talk to you guys soon.